I do like the little playlist you had on, so, you know. Just
Calm worship.
Okay, I'll just start by explaining why I have this in front of me, because it's not notes, but it's my notes.
Do we need a big light?
No.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, just in case.
I don't think so.
Okay.
When I was trying to think of how to do this, I was explaining to Bianca before, I was like, I don't do notes because they distract me. Then I would be looking at my phone and just staring at it instead. And then I was thinking how I know my timeline, but it does get a bit confusing even to me. And then I remembered that I have this, which is literally a timeline of my life in drawings, because I did art therapy. That's all I did. Like, I didn't really see a psychologist. I just drew how I felt. So I picked this up at the very last minute before we left the house, because I just had an epiphany or whatever. And then quickly tried to organise it a bit in the timeline order and thought, that's how I was going to do it. So
that's really cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
Have fun.
I guess I'll start with the start of my life, because that's the part where I didn't have any control over myself and what was going on. I was born into a Christian home. Like, my mum was a Christian. She was 19 when I was born. My dad was a little bit older. He was also a Christian. Had Christian grandparents on either side, so there's a good foundation, I guess. But things go wrong. So I think for the first 5 years of my life I was just a kid, pretty much. Didn't know anything was going on. Not everything seemed fine. And then my mum and dad started fighting, but I didn't remember that, which is also good. I'm glad I don't remember that. But then I think around 6 or 7, I can't remember, my mum left because they were fighting, but I also don't remember them fighting. But I remember feeling like really upset that my mum left, and that she was struggling so much that she didn't really want to see us, just so she couldn't affect us. So I was confused by that and was like constantly going into my dad and like, why can't we see our mum? Why can't I see mum? So then they organised like a Saturday hangout, which I hated even more, because I was like, I don't want to only see my mum on a Saturday at the park. And I used to say to my dad, can she come over? Can she come home to see us? Like, I used to get in, because even though I was young, I had like a adultish way of thinking, and I was like, why can't this happen? And they couldn't explain it to me because I was just persistent. So I remember that being quite hard. And then I remember I have like something called trauma amnesia or something, so I actually just can't remember certain things. But the one thing I remember is that my mum had this weird boyfriend, and we went to his house, and I just remember feeling like, Mum, what are you doing? Why are we at this weird guy's house? He's creeping me out. I don't want to be here. So then I actually went back to Dad and said, Dad, I don't want to see Mum now. And then, yeah, that's all I remember. But I thought about her and whatever, but I wasn't really that upset because I didn't want to go near her because of that man. So that's all I remember from that. And then one day after school, she stole us from school to Queensland, and I don't remember hardly anything from that. I don't know if we were there for a month or a year.
Sorry, how old were you then?
I don't really know. I think I don't know. I think 7.
Okay.
It has to be 7 or getting close to 8, but I don't really remember. Yeah. And the weird boyfriend was there, so I would call Dad most whenever we could call him and say, I want to come home. So he ended up moving up to be closer to us, which was nice and a big sacrifice for him. And my brother was actually with him. My mum only took me and my sister, so that was weird. And then I don't know what happened, but I think Mum and Dad got back together and moved back down here, which was amazing for me. And then I'm trying to remember it properly, but when I was about 8, maybe 8.5, I was at my nan's house one day, my great-grandma's house in Tari, and my other grandparents from my mum's side came, so it was my dad's grandma, my great-grandma, And then my other grandparents from my mum's side came, and I was like, this is really weird. These people never see each other. Like, why are they coming to my other nan's house with my uncle, my mum's brother? And I remember just thinking, like, this is really fun, I thought, because, like, wow, what's happening? And then they said something to my nan, and we went in their car to Newcastle. And then on the way or something, my uncle broke down. He was like, your mum's in hospital. And I was like, what? Why didn't anyone tell me this? And they're like, we're telling you now because it's really bad. So I just remember going to a hospital and walking through the rooms and being like, what's going on? And then Mum was in a bed, but she couldn't talk or anything. And I was like, what's happening to her? And I couldn't understand because I was so young, but they basically just said she's on life support and that she can't talk to us and she can't like wake up. And because I was such an adult kid, I was like, but can't you just poke her and like push her? I was like touching her feet and I was like, can't you just make her wake up? And like, I don't know, I was just panicking and I was like, all the adults would go into a room and then come back and I was like, are you gonna turn it off and then she would just wake up? And they're like, no. And then I was like getting annoyed, so one of the aunties took us all to Macca's, all the kids, and I think they turned it off then. But I was like really angry with the adults, and of course they were in a position where they were like upset by that because they were like trying to explain it to me. And yeah, that's all I remember from that. But she passed away, I think, that same day because they were like, she's just brain dead. But that's all I remember. And then someone explained to me that she had leukemia but then had an aneurysm and then died, and I was like, I could understand that kind of, but I was like a bit confused. And then I think from about 8 till 12 I don't remember anything. I don't think I struggled that much with it because I didn't understand it and I just put it out of my head. But I remember taking on a role of like, I'm going to be the mum. I'm going to change my brother's nappies and I'm going to clean the kitchen and I'm going to make my dad's food and I think I just took that role, so I just blocked out the grief. Mm-hmm. And then when I was 12, my dad remarried, and I forget from the age of 12 till about the age of 14 because they just fought all the time and then got a divorce. And then around 14, I remember starting to feel like angry with the world a bit, like not heaps. I didn't drink till I was 18. I didn't have any boyfriends. I didn't do typical teenage rebellion things. I was in a Baptist church youth group. I did Rema stuff and I was like a Christian, but I never felt like I really believed in God. I was just like, I was just there. Like, I didn't ever have an encounter. I wasn't ever like on fire for God. I was around my dad drinking. He was drinking a lot and I just felt like in between everything. Even at school, I wasn't the best at school. I was just kind of blending into everything, I guess. Mm-hmm. The only encounter I remember when I was about 17 or maybe 16, whenever it came out, was the song Mighty to Save. Do you remember that song? I remember that at youth group, that was like the only time I ever actually kind of felt God, but then I just kind of forgot about that. So anyway, I'll start with this. I made that one for my mum. You could just kind of pass it around.
So you made that one for your mum?
Yeah.
I love that you've given us like visual aids. This is
so good.
So good. I love that rah-rah.
Yeah, that was her nickname.
Oh,
yeah.
Sierra's nickname.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
I've heard a few.
That's so funny.
Rah-rah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then these are, I guess, how I
What was Mum's name?
Helen. Yeah. Sorry if that was all a bit much. Like the way I explained it, I was like really struggling because of the forgetting thing. I just can't like make my brain remember.
Did you call it trauma?
Amnesia or something? I don't know what they call it, but it's just like you forget.
Yeah. Don't apologise.
Yeah.
Like you're allowed to feel how you feel.
Yeah, that's those ones that you're holding at how I felt when I started to like kind of have the grief take over.
do this?
Wow, they're amazing, hey?
I don't know, 20 maybe. Like some of
So
these
good, hey?
are made in the future, but like I mean not in the future, like years after the feelings. Like that's me processing
it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your promise revives me. It comforts me
Art
in all
therapy.
my travels.
Mm.
I love that. That's gorgeous. That tiger lion, whatever. I think it's tiger, isn't it?
Mm.
Sunny, incredible.
It is beautiful.
Mine to say, but maybe we'll wait till afterwards.
Mine to say.
Yeah,
I just wrote that down on my phone too.
I was gonna put
Oh,
That's a
After-
banger. No.
I forgot all about
it's going to
that
be like, well, I'll remember you now when I hear that song.
song. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Play it after.
That's so cool.
You're so talented.
Do you get... Sorry, I get blown away by art. I find it so
the other
interesting.
side.
Oh yeah.
I'm like,
Oh,
no,
that-
it's
that was
but I think like, do you... Oh,
You
did
can
you not
look
see
at that
that?
too.
No.
I didn't see that.
I always think like, do you get a vision of it first and then draw it, or do you just start on the page and it just turns into that?
Both sometimes.
Wow,
It just
that's
depends.
so cool.
This is incredible.
So that did I say it already what they're about? Oh, that was
This one.
when I started to like the grief started to kick in and I was
Yeah.
like, holy, I'm a teenager, what am I doing? What's my life? Like yeah.
When do you feel like you finally started grieving? Like what, teenage years? What, like 15, 16?
Yeah. It was on and off, like maybe around then, but then I shut it down again till I was about 18 or 19.
That's the hard, those teenage years, and when
Mm.
you probably think, oh, would have been, nice to have for your mum. It's so hard.
Like, when I was
That's my favourite. I want a copy of that. Thank you.
Sure. When I was a teenager, I kind of just was a big kid. Like I was behind for my age, but it kind of helped. Like I just wanted to build cubby houses and
I
Oh,
think
no,
it's just
it's
the
like- yeah,
yeah,
text
there.
that's bled through.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
so just trying to make sure I'm doing this in the right order. Yeah. So the next part is when I started to realize that people drank alcohol for reasons. My dad, I think, explained it to me once. When he was drunk, he would always talk about my mum, and it would make me very uncomfortable because he'd say weird things like, geez, you look like your mum. And then in the next sentence, it would be something like, she was really hot or something, and I'd be like, don't say that to me, I don't want to look like my mum. And he'd be drinking, and he said that when mum passed away, some doctor told him to put a comedy movie on and have some beers, and he did and never stopped doing that. So
Yeah.
I was
Good advice, Doc.
Yeah, no.
No.
I was kind of
Straight from med school.
oblivious to that stuff for so long because I was like, 15-year-old, I want to build cubby houses in the backyard and do adventure things, and so that was nice. Like I'm glad that God protected me in that way. My sister was a bit different in her teenage years, but then it all kind of started rushing in when I saw how much my dad was drinking, and I started getting angsty, like, stop smoking in the house, Dad. Stop smoking cigarettes, Dad. They're bad for you. And I think I must have thought, like, my mum died of leukemia and you're smoking. Like, I just didn't like that. And then my dad would start saying things about my mum's parents, and then my mum's parents would start saying things about my dad, and all this adult stuff started to seep into me. And I was like, I'm being rudely awoken to the adult world and to the world that I don't want to be a part of yet. But then I started really struggling with Dad's drinking, and I wrote all these poems, and this one actually relates to it, so I might just read it. Showing signs of struggle and pain, empty vessels, I feel like I'm going insane. Nothing makes sense, is all just wrong and unrelenting. Sometimes I wish I could go away and forget everything. How did it get this way? Why do I have to be so fearful of what I do and say? Nothing is crystal clear anymore. Can I trust anyone anymore? I'm unsure. At the end of the day, they all say they pray, but with a bottle of Jack, they forget all the crap. I think I started thinking about alcohol at that point. So then I had like a breakthrough where I decided that I was done being scared of my dad, which was a good thing, but this was the work I did about that. My dad's like the bear in the picture. And after I decided that I was done being scared with him, I think I was alright for a while, and then suddenly the thoughts started creeping back in, and I started drinking myself, which is this picture of me wrestling with drinking.
I think you need to go on exhibition.
Yeah, literally.
Thank you.
And
Thank you
then
for bringing these. This is really
that's okay.
nice.
I just thought it was a really good way of explaining
Yeah, it
it.
is.
So I started drinking around 20, I think, badly, like more than, I mean, probably not every day, but a lot, maybe binge drinking kind of thing. And I kind of would get myself into dodgy situations, not on purpose, but like I would think, oh, some guy wants to go on a date with me, yay. Oh, he wants to take me to the movies. But he really just wanted sex, so I didn't know that though. Like I literally just was oblivious to it. I thought that someone actually liked me, wanted to take me on a date, but that's not what they wanted, and it took me years to figure that out. And then when I figured that out, I was like, wow, I'm so dumb. But I was drinking, and I think around this time I moved into Brian's house actually, in Queensland, to get away from my dad. Then things started going better because Brian introduced me to all his Christian friends. His kids were around a lot, so him and his wife had broken up, so he was living alone, but his kids were always over, and I was playing with the kids and being taken to church, and he was like a really good influence on me. So it was good for a while until he got a girlfriend, and then she just kind of understandably like came into the home and then was like, what's she doing here? And then I just moved back to Dad's because I don't know how to explain it, but that's a whole nother story. Anyway, I moved back to Dad's, and then things started going downhill even more. And basically I one time decided to go on a date with this guy, and then I don't know how it all happened, but he was like, oh, I need to pick up a friend, and I was like, okay, because I was just like trusting people. We went out to the Wingham Sporting Complex, which is just out of town, and then picking up his friend wasn't really picking up his friend, and they both sexually abused me, and then I had to walk home with hardly any clothes on, and they took my phone and my bag. And from then I started like self-harming because I hated myself, and I hated that I couldn't like get that feeling away from me after that. And basically, that triggered a memory from when I was about 7, which is my sister and I was abused by a family member, which is part of the forgetting, but I remembered that one. So that like kicked in too, and then I was like, I remember being on the phone to the police after that and saying to them on the phone, you don't have to help me though, because I'm just a piece of meat. Obviously I'm just like supposed to be a target for that, because the memory from when I was a child happened too. And then I was just like, well, obviously this is me, this is my life, is meant to be for people to abuse me. So then I just started going down that mindset, which is this very dark one. And then there's something on the other side, but that maybe just go around with that one first, and then
A snake. Yeah.
may as well start with this. These are just more the feelings of like lost and what am I doing and whatever after that one. So.
There's so much in these.
I forgot where I put them.
I'm gonna not do too many. I'm just trying to make sure I'm up to speed with where I'm at. Basically, okay, so I was feeling lost and I had just been sexually abused and then started cutting, and then I was like, I'm just gonna like go on like Tinder and go with anyone who messages me and wants to pick me up, and that lasted maybe a year. And my brother, who lived in Sydney with his girlfriend, proposed for me to move in with them, and I was like, yeah, actually that seems like a really good idea, to get out of this silly little town with these stupid apps that I'm meeting up with people on, letting them use and abuse me and drinking too much and trying to... I was still going to church, but I didn't believe in God. I was just like, whatever, God, like, you're not helping me. And I almost felt like dodgy men in the church would like talk to me because I was single and at a certain age, and I was open to it. Like, I just wasn't aware that creeps were creeps, so I just would talk to people, and like, I feel like that was... I just wasn't... I almost didn't care, but I also just didn't know. Like, I was almost innocent in that there was bad people around, and I was also not connecting with the good people, so I was just like in this lost space. So I moved to Sydney, which should have been great, but when I moved to Sydney I felt even more alone because we're in DY and my brother and his girlfriend aren't Christians really, and I remember just getting there and being like, this is amazing, I can go to the zoo and I can walk the Sydney Harbour Bridge around there and I can meet people, but it wasn't really like that. I went to the zoo a couple of times, I tried to get a job, but I was just overwhelmed, and I would walk outside and be like, wave at people or say hi to people, and they would just snub me. And I would get on a bus, like I would go to get on a bus and people wouldn't let an old lady on first, and I'd be like, what are you doing? Let the old lady on first. Let the old lady sit down. Like, I was just so much not a city person. So it made me feel even more lost. And I just went to a church randomly for some reason. I don't know why. I feel like I needed help, or I needed like food banks, so I just went to a church because I knew that churches would help. And I met a really lovely lady called Chloe. The first time I went to church, she invited me to their house for lunch after church. And she was amazing. And when I got sick, her husband dropped off soup and food to me. But I was still feeling quite alone and lost and like, what am I doing, and drinking too much. So I just like kind of went downhill quicker than uphill. And I remember, I think I met someone on Tinder again, but this time I just for some reason decided to click men and women. I don't even know how it happened, but it was Christmas time. I was alone because they came back here to be with family for Christmas, and I thought it would be clever to stay at their apartment in Sydney by myself for Christmas, and everything just came tumbling down on me. I was drinking, I had cut myself and I had a bandage there, I remember. And I met this person from Tinder, and she came over and she was older like than her picture. It's like almost catfish, but she was also transgender and didn't say that on the thing, so I was quite like, I've never met anyone transgender before. I was like really taken back and like, what am I doing? And I don't know if you have ever had moments in life where you suddenly get really hot and like almost out of body experience, like your ears are hot and you're like, what am I doing? And that happened, and I was like, this is not working. So I moved back to my dad's again, but this is my time in Sydney, how I felt. And it's literally when COVID hit at the same time, so being in the city with COVID hitting was just not
Brutal.
good. Not safe for my mental health.
What do you use? Is that like crayons? Textures?
Sharpies and gel pens and probably coloured pencils and Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. And lead pencils.
Yeah.
Oh, and that one has watercolour.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was thinking that. How cool does the background look? And I'm like, oh yeah, I can see you put that on top.
Yeah. So much detail.
So after Sydney, I fully believe that I opened the doors to more demons of like LGBTIQ, everything like that. I did the world's greatest shave and shaved my head, and then I think that spiritually affected me, because as soon as I shaved my head, I was like, I am butch. My nan got so upset because she was like, as soon as you shaved your head, something happened to you, Hannah. And I was like, no, it didn't. I did it for the leukemia shave your head thing. But something definitely happened to me because I started wearing boys' clothes. I started dating chicks and slowly stepping away from the church. But the big part of my testimony is that the church handled it really badly. I got kicked out of band, but in a way of like, it was really abrupt. They were like, you can't be in band. I'm like, why? Because you're a lesbian. I'm like, I'm not with anyone right now. I'm like, yeah, well, you can clean toilets though. And I was like, oh, thanks. And then they tried to do conversion therapy, but it, like, tricked me to get counselling with this guy. But then as soon as I got there, he was like, so we're going to pray for you to let go of this lesbian spirit or whatever. And because I was already too far into the LGBTI community, I literally just said F you and walked out and never came back. So I started drinking more and probably smoking weed at that point. And I also started not talking to anyone and only calling helplines. So I would call kids helpline even though I was too old and pretend to be under 25. I would call Blue Knot helpline, which was like a trauma helpline. I would call what's the other one? There's like an LGBTIQA one that I would call. And on the LGBTIQA one, I would call them every day. I wouldn't talk to anyone else. I would only talk to them. I actually ended up thinking I fell in love with one of the counsellors. And it's actually kind of really sad, but I laugh now. But at the time, I was so wrapped up in everyone that I would talk to on that line, especially the one that I thought I was in love with, that I wrote, I think I counted 30-something love poems to her. I was drinking a lot. I was like desperate to meet her. I was thinking I was going to get on a train and just go wait in Brisbane like stalkerish and find her one day. I actually found her on Facebook and got in trouble for that. Not in trouble, like legal trouble, but basically they broke my heart because they found out that I tried to find her on Facebook and then stopped me from being able to talk to her. And then I went even more downhill and thought that I was transgender because I was like, I don't feel, it's kind of awkward to say, but I don't feel sexually attracted to women, so maybe I'm just broken, so maybe I'm actually a transgender man. And then throughout this whole time, my nan would keep messaging me like a testimony of a lesbian who found Jesus and then married a man and she's happy now, and I'd be like, don't send me that. And she tried to give me a Bible and I put it at the op shop. I was like, I don't want that. Why are you trying to pray for? And then she'd be like, I'm praying for you. And I'm like, don't pray for me. Why do you want to change me? And towards the end it got to the point where I was like, if I come visit you, can my girlfriend come? She was like, well, not really. And I was like, so you don't want me in your life? So I was literally about to cut them off. I was about to cut my dad off. I was about to get top surgery, which is removing my breast, and change my name. I was going to go by Coast. That was going to be my name. And because the LGBTI community, a lot of people don't see, but they push a lot on people, especially vulnerable people. I'd have them messaging me saying, if you're this, maybe you wear clothes like that because maybe you might be trans, and if your grandparents say they're praying for you, just ditch them. You just cut off your family. We'll be your family. And they push so much that my mental health was like split into. I was like, I want my family, and I don't want to cut my grandparents off. But maybe these people are right. Maybe I am transgender. Maybe I am actually a gay man. That's what point I got to, because they just keep pushing stuff on the young people in the community. But then when you want help, they're not there. Like, if I would message one of them, like my gay uncle, I would call him Gunkle, and be like, hey, I'm really struggling today. I don't know what to do, whatever. They weren't there for me. I have Christians reach out to me every now and then and be like, hey, how are you? What are you doing? Or if they'd see me at the shops, and I'd be like, don't talk to me. But basically I just got to a point where I was like, I don't really have anyone, and my family don't like what I'm doing. I put on like 20 kilos heavier than I am now, and my hair was like always shaved, and I was wearing Lowe's men's clothes, and I got to the point where I was smoking weed all day every day, wouldn't leave my house, wouldn't even see anyone, like didn't go on dating apps or anything anymore. I would just game, drink alcohol, smoke weed. Got to the point where I couldn't even take my rubbish out of the house in part of my lounge room. I thought that it was discreet, but it really wasn't, because I'll explain that part after. But I had rubbish bags along the wall with a sheet over them, and I thought that would like hide them. But we had, where I was living at the time, which is where Brian and I are leasing now, I was renting it alone with the old landlord. I was renting a room, and then 2 of the rooms were used as offices by office people, and one of the office ladies came over to me and was like, what's that smell? I was like, oh, I don't know. I think I said something like, maybe my cat, maybe I need to change the litter. But I knew that she meant all the rubbish. So I started going to this women's group just up the street, and it seemed really good at the start, and they came and helped me take all the rubbish out of my house. But I soon found out that they were full of witches, like fully like hippie, witchy, spiritual, whatever. They were like everything to me. They were there for me. They helped me. They gave me clothes. They gave me food. They were fully there. But I actually really quickly started getting caught up in witchy things and crystals, and they would have healing ceremonies which were kind of similar to church. So I think I liked it, because we'd go there and we'd all lay on the floor and they'd walk around like touching you and doing like drumming circles and singing songs and all that. And I was like, this is cool, I like this. So I stayed, and I was still smoking weed. I was trying to work at Coles and smoke weed, and I was trying to work at the cafe downstairs and smoke weed, and none of that worked. So I was kind of just getting sicker and putting on more weight. And then what happened? Basically, I started talking to Brian again, and he was like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't think that you are doing well at all. And he didn't even know all of this, but he basically just was really honest with me, and he was like, I don't believe you're lesbian bullshit. They were his exact words. And I was like,
doesn't sound like him.
I was angry, but I was like, I could take it from him, like out of anyone, even my nan. When he said that, I was like, yeah, okay, I don't know what to say, but yeah, you're right. And he kept nudging things, and then my uncle, my mum's brother, started messaging me and was like, you're not okay. And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. He's like, no, you're not. And he's like, you owe money to people. And then my auntie messaged me, which is my dad's sister, and was like, you owe money to your nan. What are you going to do? Because I was just slowly borrowing money from like many different people. I was 10 grand in debt for weed, basically. And I also owed Brian $800, which I don't even remember because I was such a pothead that I don't even remember that. But it all hit me because when my auntie messaged that, it got personal, and I was embarrassed, and I was like, something's wrong with me and I don't know what to do. And then my boss at work downstairs said that her husband was going away and could I go stay at their house and look after their dogs while she was at work. And I did, and I used that to go cold turkey. And for like 3 weeks I was having withdrawals. I was like fainting, I couldn't walk. Like I was so sick from stopping weed and drinking. but something in me was like, maybe I can do this. Maybe I don't have to keep smoking weed and having rubbish in my house. But I still didn't know how, because I was like so opposite of God. I was like, I don't believe in God anymore. I don't think I ever will. I don't want to listen to my grandparents. And I was still really stuck. But then Brian decided with Jesus to just come down here and help me. Like literally, like I
love that.
well, Jesus told him to, and he was like, what? Like he was, because he was still wondering or praying that maybe his ex-wife would come back after years. And then suddenly God was like, go rescue Hannah. And if he didn't do that, I just don't know where I would be. Like, I was literally at the point where I was like, I don't know if I'm going to leave. I was trying to drink and throw myself down the stairs. And I was into the witch stuff so bad that I had, like, a book. Like I don't even know what it was, like a spell book or something. I was making wands and cursing people and things, and I almost, like, was about to write my grandparents off, and I was in the second appointment to get top surgery. So it was pretty bad. It was getting really, really bad, actually. But Brian came down to take me to my uncle's wedding, and he basically was just like, you're not doing this anymore. I'm like, I don't believe in God though, so good luck. I was really sad. I was just like not having it. I was like, and then he was like, I smoked weed a couple of times when he came down, but it didn't feel right, because like he was there, so I'd feel really paranoid and like uncomfortable because I wasn't alone. So I'd be like hi, and he'd be sitting there, and I'd be like, what is he thinking about me? Am I talking? Wait, no, I'm not talking. And then he'd talk, and I'd be like, what is he saying? And I'd be like, this is really uncomfortable. And then so I just stopped, and I rebelliously smoked a couple of cigarettes or something. I stopped that too. I stopped drinking. And then he was like, so Jesus has better for you. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And then he wanted to go to church, and I was like, I'll go to church, but I don't care about them. Like, I don't care about church, and I don't believe in God, so you can try. And I was really hesitant. I went to church, and I was like, I'm not going every week. I'm only going to go once a month. And he was like, okay, cool, that's all right. And I think I went like once a month for a few months, and then I was like, fine, I'll go every second week. And then something weird happened one night. I started like having, this is like the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me, but like I went into a trance kind of thing. That's what he explained. Like I was having a demonic attack or something, which was really scary to me, because I never really thought that was real. I thought that Christians just talked about that like it's like a movie or whatever. But something came over me, and I was like, I need to throw out my magic stuff. But I wasn't with it. Like he could go like that, and I literally wasn't with it. But I was like gathering things, and he's like, what are you doing? Are you okay? I'm like, I need to throw this out. I need to get rid of this. I need to get rid of that. And I just went through my whole house getting crystals and wands and books and, I don't know, chakra things and gathering them. And he was like, I think I know what's happening, actually. Like, he was having his own dialogue with God, because he couldn't ask me what was happening. And he was like, oh, right, this is what's happening. Oh, I'm going to have to do, like, a deliverance. And he was kind of scared. But he did. And I went from in a trance to, like, bawling my eyes out. And I was like, I'm really hot. I need ice cubes. And I was holding ice cubes, and they were just melting straight away in my hands. And I was putting them on my head and coughing a lot. And he prayed for me and, like, broke all of that stuff off me. And we went outside and burnt some things. And I've literally never felt like that before. But something just completely, like, broke off me. It felt like my whole life, like some massive thing just got cut off. And then I was like able to listen to worship music a bit, because before, like, he would play worship music and I'd be like, turn that off, turn it off. Like, I'd start getting really angry and like kind of like singing the wrong lyrics on purpose to piss him off or piss God off. I'd be like, if it said God is good, I'd be like, no, he's not, because he doesn't care about me. And I started being able to listen to worship music, and then we found a better church, but it wasn't deep. it was better than no church and better than the church we were at. So for me, it was like amazing. And he was like, we need to find a better one. I'm like, no, this is better. This is good. But then stuff happened there because it just wasn't deep enough. But I still didn't believe in God, really. Like, I was like, no, I'm not going to believe still. I'm still going to be stubborn. But then something happened one night, I think. I started writing in the notebook and I was like, I'm not fat, I'm not this, I'm not that. And I don't know why I just did that, but I was thinking, I believe too many horrible things about myself, so I'm just going to decide that I don't believe them anymore. And then we went to a random church in Tari. Some lady walked up to me and said, I have your old Bible that your nan gave you. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, I got it from the op shop. I was like, I forgot. Like, I literally forgot what she was... I didn't know what she was talking about. It was the Bible my nan gifted me that I was like, nah, and put it at the op shop.
Oh my god.
And I was like, thanks God. Like, of course you're going to do one thing that I can believe.
I'm here.
Like,
Boomerang actually comes back, yeah.
I was literally in shock.
Oh,
And Brian wasn't, because he's used to stuff like that happening. But I was like, no, you set this up. Like, I think I actually got...
Yeah.
but then I was like...
pranking me or something, yeah.
I went home and I was holding it and I was like, my nan never stopped praying for me.
Yeah.
Even when I was going to, like, ditch them. And her Bible came back to me. And I was like, okay, God, alright. Like, I've stopped smoking weed. Because you told Brian to come and help me, and I never thought I would stop smoking weed. I literally would say to myself, I'm going to smoke weed for the rest of my life. I'm going to live in a cottage by myself or with a chick in the forest and have billions of animals, and that's all my life is going to be. And I never thought I would lose weight, and I've lost like 20 kilos or something, skateboarding, getting fit. I never thought I would grow my hair out because I thought I was a dude or whatever. But I couldn't look at myself in the mirror, and now I do. Like, so something really monumental happened when I got that Bible. I was like, no, you gotta be kidding me. This is not normal.
Oh, I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah. It was really, like, huge. I didn't even know I'd start talking about that. But that's actually really significant now that I think of it.
That's so cool.
But then our church wasn't great, and I don't want to go into detail about what happened, but we got asked to move on because we're a lot. And came to Lifeway. I came to Lifeway in tears because I got told that I could go to the other church, but then when I got there, they were like, no, actually, we don't want you here. Walked into Lifeway and was like shook because I was like, what is happening here? Like, what is going on here? This place is like weird because people like looked at me and came up to me and spoke to me, and Brooke got on her knees and apologized for stuff that happened to Brian and I that she didn't even know about. It was just really bizarre. Like, I was like, did you call this church last week, Brian, and tell Brooke stuff so that when we would come here, I would think that it was God, but really it was just you? And he's like, no, I didn't tell anyone anything. Brooke knew stuff. She like literally just started apologizing for stuff that she had there's no way that she could know about.
Wow.
And then Caroline was just like I almost felt like she was like an angel, but I was just, for the first time in my whole life, I literally was like, I think I believe in God. Like, actually, like, not just because everyone else does or because it's popular or because I'm blended in at this church or youth group, but I was like, I actually believe in God. Because, like, people would just come up to me and be like, how are you? And I'd expect them to just, I don't know, like I would say good and they would be like, oh, that's good, and walk away. But Adam, for example, like I would never go near men. I was literally still scared of men at that time. He would walk up to me like, so, what's been going on? So, and then he wouldn't walk away. And I'd be like, what is he doing?
Yeah, he
like,
goes deep.
and then I'd start like spilling stuff, and then I'd be like, no, stop, what are you doing, Hannah?
Yeah.
But then he'd still stay, and I'd be like, okay, I'll keep spilling stuff then. And then I'd go home with Brian and be like, Brian, people actually care here.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, yeah, they do. And I'm like, why? Why do they care about me? And he's like, because Jesus. And I was like, but that's not, I'm not used to that. And he's like, yeah, this is what it's meant to be like. And that's a lot. I didn't even know I'd go to those places. I just went to. But basically, I've changed so much that I don't even know who I am now, like, but in a good way. I didn't think I would get out of that, the worst part that I was in, where I had rubbish in the house and I was in debt, and I literally paid my friends 3 times the amount of money for weed just to get the weed. Like, so I would buy them dinner, I'd pay for fuel, I'd like scramble, I'd try and, I don't know, I'd not eat properly just to have money to get weed, or I would sleep with someone to get weed. It was just like a mess. But when Brian came, he copped a lot. It was like, I was just angry at him for interrupting my fake comfortable life, but like, no one else could have done it, and it can't have been anything else but God, because I was so stuck. Like, I was literally like gonna try to go to rehab, or I don't know how I would have done that, or some mental health retreat thing. I literally was desperate and wanted someone to like come and kidnap me and lock me in a room in their house so that I couldn't access weed or whatever, because I didn't know how to stop. But Jesus knew how to help me stop. And then recently I met with my grandparents at a cafe. They visited, and I just bawled my eyes out, and I was like, you never stop praying for me. And I was horrible to you guys. Like, I was literally going to cut you off, and in the end I was actually being quite nasty to them, and we all had a cry. And my nan was like, I wasn't going to give up on you. I knew that God would get you. Like, I knew that. And I was like, no, I was really stubborn then. She's like, no, I knew that he was still chasing you and he would never give up on you, just like I wouldn't. And I just like started crying so much, because I was like, I did not feel like God cared about me. I literally used to say to people that God put me here to be the one to cop the brunt of things. And even up until recently, like, if you ask Brian, I talk myself down all the time. Like, I'm dumb, I'm stupid, like, I'll never recover from being a pothead, I'm overweight, and I'm not like other women, and like just stuff constantly. He's like, don't talk to yourself like that. And I've only just started realizing why not to talk to myself like that, because I fit in at Lifeway and I'm different, and that's okay, and we're all different, and Lifeway fosters that, which is amazing, because other churches don't, but we're all different. And I just have like this heart for people that are different, because it's okay to be different, and it doesn't mean that God doesn't care about us, or like we're too whatever. It doesn't matter if we're too annoying or a pothead, or talk a lot like Brian, or don't talk at all, or don't think we're pretty, or think we're really pretty. It doesn't matter, like, whatever it is, God just loves us for how we are, and that, realising that is like the big, yeah. Sorry, I just couldn't stop talking then.
That's cool.
No, it's good.
Oh,
We saw you so when we were looking at different churches,
yeah.
we saw you at 3 or 4 different churches in Port the same time.
Wow.
What?
And so Sierra quietly observed.
I love this story.
What?
So Sierra quietly observed, and I quietly observed how you guys were received at those churches. And when we turned up to Lifeway, Sierra said, they love them, they will love us.
Oh my gosh, that's so really trippy. It's nice to have something confirmed.
Sorry.
I always cry. It was such a... Oh, that's
And
so cute.
I did not expect
happy
to cry,
tears.
but that's like
So-
thought, you know.
So then, Sierra's telling my dad, who's on pot
yeah.
constantly, who has massive self-worth issues, there's massive issues.
Yeah.
And he's on, like, he gets prescribed pot.
Yeah.
Because it's better than the morphine that he was on. But Sierra tells, this happened 3 months ago. Sierra was telling my dad, her grandfather, about Brian and Hannah at church.
Oh.
And Dad goes, I need to meet this Brian.
Yeah.
Like, just, yeah.
Mm.
Like, felt like I needed to tell you that.
Well, that is significant. Like, one of our biggest things is, like, we want to help people get off weed. That's, like, a big thing for us because it really does break your brain. Unless you've, like, been on it so much, like Brian and I, and, like, one of his friends literally just can't function because of it. But for me, I was so dumb. Like, I'm not even being mean. That's not insecure. I would walk into a room and be like, I don't even know how to think. Like, I would have these weird moments where I literally just did not know how to think.
What am I in this room for?
Yeah.
Or what, not even that, like, what even am I? Like,
Yeah.
and then I started doing these tiny buildies with, like, miniature houses where you have to, like, calculate, like, measure things and cut things with a Stanley knife and intricately put them together. And I was like, I am not okay in the head. Like, weed has literally broken my brain. We'd watch movies that I watched when I was stoned, and we'd watch them, like, with me not being stoned, even recently, and I'd be like, I don't remember any of this like this at all. I couldn't talk. Like, people would think Brian was talking for me. He wasn't talking for me. Well, I couldn't talk, that's why. Like, he would be talking knowing what I would want to say, but I couldn't say it. And I've only just recently started finding my voice. Like, even when I came to Lifeway, I was like, I don't know how to talk to you guys.
I just also want to touch on that. For some reason, I'm getting this feeling, and I hope this doesn't offend at all, but I want you to know that you actually have such a big identity outside of Brian too. Like, he's wonderful and he's helped out and he's such a big, vivacious sort of extrovert, but you actually have an identity outside of Brian too.
Yeah.
You're not Brian's girlfriend, you're Hannah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I love that he's so wonderful and so, like, all inclusive and, like, loves everyone and stuff, but you are your own person. Just remember
He
that.
literally pushes me to, like, he's like, go. Because for, like,
100%.
the first chunk of time, I needed him, and he, because, like, I was going sober, like, people shouldn't do that alone. I probably should have had some kind of doctor to help or whatever, but, like, he helped me and then kind of helped me figure out how to find my voice. And then, like, with women's group, I didn't want to come to this.
Yeah.
He was, like, pushing me to come to this, and I was like, no, I don't like all women's groups. What, like, even to, like, oh, they wouldn't want me there. That, like,
Yeah.
I thought that most of you didn't even like me, to be
Oh
honest.
my gosh.
Which is silly, but I knew you did, because I connected with Jess, but, like, pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But I didn't know about you guys, like, really. And then at church camp, I got to know you all a bit more, but I did connect with you because we were more quiet. Like, I just kind of, like, quietly go over to Bianca and be like, hi. But it's taken a while for me to even believe that people, like, it's not all a show. I used to say to Brian at church, oh, the pastor must tell people to come and talk to new people. And he's like, no. At other churches, maybe, but not here. People just come to you and talk to you because they want to. And even Jenny came over to me on Sunday.
Jenny Norris?
I think so. Is she a nurse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is she not?
She's
No,
a
she
nurse.
Yeah, she's a
I think so, is she
And
not?
she's very nice.
Yeah, both of them.
But again, I was like, why are you talking to me? I haven't
She's
talked
so
to you really
beautiful.
before. I had this really good conversation. And then I was like, for once, I'm starting to not have out-of-body experiences when I talk to people. Because I'd be looking down going, oh, that's not me. I'm not. Well, they wouldn't be talking to me. But then I'm like, yeah, because I am me, duh, and I'm talking to them. Yeah. I'm trying to find, like, the ending of the...
It can feel really uncomfortable when you're not used to authentic love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was weird. I'll just try and find the last one that I was showing. Where is it?
So next year,
That one.
exhibition,
Yeah.
True.
I'm
art
seeing
walk.
this. Art walk, yes.
This is like
Oh,
the
yeah.
ending of for now, but
Overcomer.
yeah.
Is that song? You're an Overcomer. It's like, we used to play on Rima all the time. Love that one too. We'll add it to the playlist of things we'll play.
We'll have a Hannah playlist.
Yes,
Yes, definitely.
I like that one. Hell, that's another one.
That's another one.
Because
Yeah.
Brian would start
Yeah.
singing that to me.
Riley's
Well, the
pumping
other
that
part of
rap.
my testimony, I mean, it's just a work in progress where me and Brian are figuring things out together. What's our future? What's Hannah's future? What career does Hannah want to do? Brian with his t-shirt business. I'm relearning myself like completely, which is so weird, and it makes me feel really behind because I'm like, I'm 32 and I don't have kids and I don't have a career and I don't own anything because of my mistakes, but it's not too late either. Like even my sister,
Creation.
yeah, and
New creation.
learning what art I do now because I don't do these anymore. I do other stuff, but I know there's something else in me, like I want to start painting or something, and I did a painting for Brooke, a prophetic painting, and it really touched her. And I was like, I want to start doing this.
That's
actually,
so
like
cool.
more stuff like that.
Yeah,
But-
this is a gift.
That's such a gift. Wow.
There's a group actually. Donna does prophetic painting. It should be fun. It's a whole group.
Donna,
Yeah.
like,
Nan
from
Perro.
like,
No,
I was going to say from our last group. But...
no. My boss's wife.
Oh, okay.
I've heard about painting
Prophetic
during
painting.
church
Yeah.
or worship.
Yeah.
Would you feel comfortable like doing like painting classes or something like
Yeah.
sort of like a paint and sip sort of thing?
Yeah, I
Like-
said that to Caroline. I want to do some, probably more like art therapy kind of thing,
Yeah.
but because like I know a lot of different mediums, whatever you want to call it. Like I can do acrylic pouring, I can do this kind of stuff. I can do just normal acrylic or oil painting, stuff like that. I definitely want to do that, but I kind of want it to have a meaning. Like
Yes.
yeah, not just.
Prophetic paintings, like
Mm.
Incredible.
they have it sometimes at graves. Where
Oh, do they?
Yeah. All the artists that are
Like that you
gifted
put
that
the
way,
keys
they
on
do
it.
prophetic
That's so
paintings
cool.
or worship.
But like I've only just started to sing worship because I think Brian explained it to me actually on the way here. I couldn't sing something like I'm free because I'd be like too logical about worship songs. I'd be like, oh, I'm not free fully yet, so if I sing it then I'm lying. And he's like, no, we sing worship songs. We don't all feel like all the lyrics in all the worship songs we all sing, but we sing them over ourselves as like a declaration for the change and the healing. And when
Absolutely.
I started thinking of it like that, I've been getting into worship more at church. And like I looked over at, what's his name? The young boy, I think he's like maybe 12 or 13. He's had shaved, like blonde hair.
Oh,
Stuff.
Russell.
Yeah.
Oh,
He was like, he freaked me out because I looked at him and he was like singing with a beautiful voice, and because his voice hasn't broken, it sounded like a woman's voice, but it was really beautiful. And he was like fully into it.
Was this not last one, the one before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I noticed that too.
I literally like
Oh,
lost
that's so
it because I was like,
nice.
if he could put his
How old
hands
is
up,
he?
wow.
I think he's 13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
12, yeah.
I got goosebumps and all, like
that's so
Yeah.
felt the Holy Spirit, and I was like, if he can put his hands up, I can put my hands up too.
Yeah.
And then I closed my eyes and I was like, my hand was just like going out like that, and I was like, like literally panicking. And then as soon as I did that, I was like, I don't want to cry.
Don't cry, do it. We all
I don't want to
do
feel healing. Like now my hands are open, so you can like wash over me even more now, and I'm gonna start getting emotional because I don't like crying and I don't like feeling. I'm almost like scared. What's God gonna do? Like,
There was something I was reading about how worship, like this, I like the science behind stuff and the science behind worship and what it does to our vagus nerve from a stress response and the flight, fight, freeze that all of us always get stuck in, and how it helps heal. Just from the like we go when we're searching for healing and we're desperate, we go looking everywhere, but back to
Wow.
like it's really cool.
That is cool.
Thank you so much for sharing.
I never said it all out loud, so it's actually really cool.
No, okay.
I was kind of in denial about how lost I was, but I was like really not okay. Like I don't think I would have been alive for much longer if Brian didn't come, because I was just being ripped apart from every world. And like since I became a Christian again, some of the people in the LGBTIQ community, I didn't even like say anything to them. I just kind of like dwindled away a bit. They would message me and be like, "You're under a lie. You've been
brainwashed."
You've been
You're in a
brainwashed."
cult.
What's the word they use now? I was saying it the other night. Religious psychosis they call it. Oh, really?
But they'd
Yeah,
be personally
it's ridiculous.
offended and even like call me names and be mean to me. Like I literally would be in tears to Brian and be like, "They were my friend.
Yeah.
I didn't even do anything to them," and they don't understand that, because they would be like, "No, you can't not be a lesbian," and I'd have to go like, I'd be beside myself crying because I'd feel like I'd have to explain to them, I was never sexually attracted to women. I made myself be so that I wouldn't have to go near men. And they'd be like, "No, you're lying." And I'd be like, "I'm not lying though. Like, I'm literally not lying. I didn't want to kiss a girl." Like, I had girlfriends and held hands, but nothing else. And Brian was like, "You're just going to have to start blocking them or just not replying to them, because no matter what you say, they're not going to believe you." And it was really hard because suddenly I had Brian and my grandparents sort of back and no one else. No LGBTIQ friends, no Christian friends. And then now since we've been coming to Lifeway, I'm like, I have friends. Like I want to do things. I want to go. Like I have the weirdest thoughts. I say to Dale all the time, like, "Can we go quad bike riding?
Yes.
And can we
I love
go...
that.
What did I say last week? Can we go to the Bago Maze together? I have a Bible study based on the Bago Maze that I want to do with people." And she's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "I want to do so many things with all of you." Like,
That's so cool.
it's weird to say that.
Because
And
how long
people-
have you been at Lifeway? Has it been 12 months?
I don't even know. Like in my mind, it felt like yesterday that we just came and then.
I think it was about the same time that we came.
Yeah.
When was
Yeah.
that? About 12 months?
October last year, September, October-ish.
It's just because it was all such a big whirlwind. I felt like I came to Lifeway, and no one else new has come since us. Like it's just felt
like-
really like weird.
Oh,
I
really?
don't, yeah.
I've noticed a lot of
There's
new
quite a
people.
few new people.
Yeah, that there is now. I'm noticing, but
Yeah.
cause I just felt like I don't know, the main character for once in my life. So when we came, I was like, "Oh, I'm a part of something." Like,
Yeah.
and we haven't been told to clean toilets. We've been offered to be a part of putting chairs out, but like it's all just feels right the way it's done.
Yeah.
And then I had another big God moment on Sunday, the Burger Urge. I looked around and I was like, we made this happen.
Yeah.
Like, you have to come next time, and you can come too. Burger Urge.
We're doing it again
It's
this
like-
Sunday?
It's like
No,
church
after
at
the-
Burger Edge.
we're not going to do it every week. Well, for us, money-wise, we're
Brian
not going
did
to do it
mention
every
it,
week.
but we
Yeah.
couldn't.
Yeah.
But I think we're doing it the one after the table, the week after the table,
Okay.
for now. But,
The kids would love it.
yeah. And we'll try and do it more, but
One less meal I have to deal
I
with.
know, I have to.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
we've had housemate dramas, so we don't really have that much money at the moment. But, yeah, I just had this, like, really God moment where I was like, I did something. Like,
Yeah. You organised that.
and I got really
You feel
emotional,
part of
actually.
the community, that's-
Yeah, and I was talking to Christian, but I couldn't even hardly understand him because it's like I was like in the spiritual instead of being where I was at Burger Urge. I'm like looking around at everyone and I was like, this is because we asked this, like we wanted this and we want to socialise with people after church. This is so far-fetched from where I was that I don't feel real.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, like, not only were you hanging out with people outside of church, you actually orchestrated it, and people actually wanted to be there with you, which is probably such a, so different to what you experienced at the previous churches.
And I really like all of you, like, not just because you are all in the room, but a lot of people at Lifeway
Yeah.
as well. And I almost get to the point where I'm like, what if I like them too much and then it's too much and then they don't want to talk to me? But that doesn't even happen. Like, even with Brian, he's a lot. He knows he's a lot.
Yeah.
Caroline likes to tell him he's a lot.
Yes.
But people still want to be his friend and they still like him. And I'm like, wow, this is what Christians are meant to be like. Yeah.
I struggled when I walked into Lifeway, my nervous system just
Mhm.
dropped, and I'm like, this strangely feels like home.
Mm.
Wow. That's so
And it was bizarre because after going to Nepal, church in Nepal ruined church life back here, and I experienced something that I wasn't experiencing here, and so I became really, my prayers were like contentment, but Lifeway adds what? Like that family, community, spirit-led.
I said that to Caroline. At church camp, I was struggling because I was like, this is like one of those times where you go to church camp and your whole life changes or whatever. Like, that's what I thought it would be like, because I've never been to church camp. And I was like, I'm going to resist that. I'm going to resist the heck out of that. But then it was raining and I was going to be in a tent by myself. And then Aaron said, well, you could have a cabin with Caroline and only Caroline.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. That didn't help me avoiding all the healing and everything, because Caroline and I had really deep and meaningful to the point where I was on the floor, leaning on her bed with her in bed, like in tears, being like, I wish I could do this with my mom.
Aww.
And then we were talking about church, and I was like, your church actually covers things, like, it's not perfect. No church is perfect. But it's the first church I've been to where it covers, like, all the areas I could think of, bar their community centre that they want to have one day that they can't do yet. But I can't see any area where it's even really lacking. Like, when new people come, they get surrounded. Like, Robbie came, he just came out of jail, which is really hectic, and he was surrounded by men, and he's thriving. Like, I really, like, have a lot of I'm inspired by him, but I also have, like, a lot of empathy for him, because I'm like, you came out of jail, like, I came out of hectic stuff, you came out of even more hectic stuff, and he's reading his Bible and talking to me and Brian a lot, and Brian made him a shirt that says something, don't go to prison or something, like, something funny.
She's bold.
And he loves it though.
I don't know who this is.
Do you know Keely? I'll have to.
They're pretty
They
new.
were there on Sunday, but
Well,
they were behind you.
in front of me, I think. Like,
I'll introduce you, because he's like really.
yeah. She's got
at Burger Urge, okay.
Yeah, they were at Burger.
Oh, did they go to Burger?
Yeah.
Church too? Oh, that's nice.
I was there, but my head wasn't there. That's
Yeah,
right.
fair.
But I'm used to churches, and I was like kind of a fly on the wall at my old church when I started thinking I was gay. I would overhear leaders' meetings and hear them talking about people that looked different, or people like gay people, or whatever, in the most horrific way, that I started feeling just completely confused altogether about, is God even real? Because if he is, why would Christians be talking like this? And I would confront the pastor and be like, this is wrong that people are talking like this. I would hear them saying, why do gay men dress so flamboyant? And if a guy walked in and he wasn't gay but he was wearing this or that or this and that, we would have to tell him that he's wrong. Or like, I would just hear them talking about really horrific things, and hear them gossiping about people in their church and talking about them in a bad way. I was like, this is not on. But then Lifeway, anyone walks in, I'm pretty sure one guy came and he might have even been a little bit drunk. I think he might have been. He was like ranting a bit. Everyone just accepts them.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be. Like, we want to Brian and I want to just pick people up on our way to church and bring them to church, and for that to be okay.
Yeah.
And like, because they're welcome there. They're more welcome there than us, or that, like, just as welcome, but you know what I mean.
Wasn't that where
Look who
Jesus
Jesus'
was?
best mates
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, look who
Prostitutes.
the
like,
disciples, you know? Like, yeah, for sure, I know.
It's Sarah's bringing a friend to youth group who lives next door to us and thinks that she's a lesbian at the moment. And she said, will your church accept me? Sarah goes, well, like, and I love the naivety of it, that she's like, why wouldn't they?
Exactly.
That's
It
so
makes
cool.
me sad because like I thought I was unaccepted. I could never possibly be accepted by Christians or by God. And Brian encounters people all the time. Like one chick's, he just invites people to church. It's like a joke. He almost does it so casually that it just doesn't feel. But it doesn't feel like pressure to them or anything. It's just almost as like a cool thought. For them.
Relational. Yeah.
Somehow
Yeah.
they're like, they just want to do it. But one chick in particular was like, oh, I can't come to church. And he said, why? And she's like, because I believe in abortion and I'm scared that they're going to fight with me over it. And he was like, no, they're not. They're not. Some of them might not agree with you, but they're not going to fight with you about it because that's not what we're meant to do.
I mean, some people probably, like, it depends who you speak to. Some people might, but
Well,
like,
if she went
everyone,
in-
we've got
yeah.
a range of personalities and people who will accept and love. Well, everyone
Yeah.
will accept and love,
Yeah.
obviously. Except, yeah.
But in her mind, she literally thought if she went to a church,
Throw stones. They would like
Yeah.
throw stones.
Yeah.
Like,
well, without even her saying that she believes in it, she thought that people just
would know.
were at churches talking about it.
Yeah, yeah. And
Like,
that'll be
just always
invalidated.
talking
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
And he was like, we don't even just, for starters, at our church, I can't say for any other church because we don't know, but like at our church, no one's just talking about that. No one's just talking about LGBTIQA or whatever. Like, it's safe in that way. Obviously, if she ended up meeting someone and bringing that up, if it's the wrong person, that might not be the best. But just on a whole,
Yeah, absolutely. As a whole. For sure.
yeah.
I think there's the element too, you touched on it in your testimony, where Jesus has his hand on you.
Mm.
And so by coming into church community,
Mm.
essentially sometimes you don't even have to approach those conversations. Their heart shifts
Mm.
as Jesus heals them, basically.
Yeah, for sure.
If I wish I knew all about Lifeway before Brian came, knowing that I could step into Lifeway high on weed, looking like a man, and just not and have been accepted. If I knew that, I would have come,
Yeah.
which is a sad thought, because I'm sure people out there think the same way. If I knew that I could be safe, I would go to a church and be accepted and loved and celebrated, and you don't have to be a Christian. Like, no one out there has to be a Christian for us to find good things about them and celebrate them and make them feel loved.
Absolutely.
Sounds like Lifeway's got some peg widening to happen.
I know. It's been happening like this for years. I have to keep changing venues because when we first started, it was underneath Coles. There's like this little like conference room underneath there.
Coles in Port.
No, sorry, in Lighthouse.
Oh,
Coles Lighthouse.
I was going to say, where's that?
Yeah,
What's
there
that
was like a
building?
little room.
It's the points office.
Yeah, it's the police office. That's
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
jeez.
And then we expanded. We went to where did we go after that? It was
I wasn't
Westport.
there.
Oh, you weren't there
Oh,
at that time.
no.
Oh no, we went to Westport after.
I went
that.
once underneath.
Oh really?
Well,
Yeah. And then after Westport we.
And now the points
Oh no,
are
we went
Westport,
to
aren't
St
they?
Thomas's and then. To
Oh,
where we are
wow.
now. Yeah.
oh,
Okay.
did you use St Thomas's for a
That
while?
we used St Thomas's for a while. Yeah.
The hall, not the actual.
No, the hall. Yeah.
Oh.
yeah.
I
So
love
we're
that
just
building.
expanding and expanding, and I think we're going to need to keep going.
Well,
I'm
I've
sure.
already got a job at their community centre, whatever
do
it's
you?
going to be called.
St Thomas's.
No, like when Lifeway has the
Oh,
one.
when they do.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have a
Absolutely.
mini ramp out the back so Brian and I can
Yeah,
teach hooligans
that's
how to
so cool.
skateboard, and
Oh, my kids would love
We're
it.
gonna
They're
have-
so
Oh,
unco.
nice.
You're going to have to like spend your whole time.
I'm going to do
teaching
art and music therapy with whoever else does art and music.
That's
We should
so
do like
cool.
skateboarding lessons down
Yeah.
at the park with
Yeah.
Brian.
We've already talked about, we're actually going to do that.
That's so cool.
We could have a chick's skateboarding lesson, but he has to come because he can help, but
Yeah.
he's just like the worker. He doesn't get to be a part of the chicks thing. The fact that he taught me how to skate was like one of those things where you think, I'm never going to be able to run. I never thought I could run. Wait, no, I never even thought I could jump on the spot, like jump in the air ever again, or stand on one foot, or fit on a roller coaster. And I'm like, I can run and climb up one of those net things at a playground, you know, those things. I can walk on a balance beam.
You can rock climb.
I can rock climb. I never thought that I'd be able to pull my big body up that thing.
What did you go rock climbing?
Yeah.
One of the girls' nights was rock.
And before
no.
we went, I was like, Brian, I'm going to embarrass myself so much. There's no way that I can pull myself up, let alone up as far as I went. Like,
You went. You just kept going. You're like determined.
I literally
That was
cried
really
when we left there because I was like, that's how good God is. I literally couldn't jump or stand on one leg. I can stand on one leg for a long time now. But skateboarding, I never thought I could actually ever skateboard. But
I'm pretty good at it.
Childlike wonder.
I'm just like,
You could actually
don't tell me that
definitely
God
teach
isn't
me.
powerful, because like there's no way I could have done that. That's not me or Brian. Even though he's a good teacher, it had to be more than just me and Brian.
Own intervention. Yeah, thanks for sharing. Wow.
I think,
Super encouraging.
yeah, super great. I was just going to say, I think we should all pray
Yeah.
and just, I feel very prompted to pray. And that's not like me at all. So I'm just getting all these things.